Hello, people, and welcome back to Total Oz Spurs. Delane, it's been a while, brother.
Sure has. It's been a while. I think over the time the World Cup was on, we just haven't got a chance to get around to do videos. Obviously, I got a baby coming away, and just a lot of shit's happening, especially with work now. I think I'm finishing up, so yeah, no, it's good to be back.
Yeah, no, it's we did do that video after the first round, but it was just too hard to try and catch all the games
Mm,
because they were early hours in the morning here in Australia. It was very, very hard to get up, catch all the games for the players, get our heads together and review them. So we made a decision to just lay off the videos, let everyone enjoy the World Cup.
mm-hmm.
We're going to do some stuff on transfers, but it's been pretty quiet up until the last couple of days. There's a lot of news coming out about Conte, about Poch. But before we get that, I want to put it out there. Argentina, Romero, World Cup winner.
World Cup
Um,
champion.
I'm
Big
going to say,
congratulations.
yeah, congratulations to Argentina and Romero. Hell of a way to go. Lost the first game to Saudi and then end up winning the big one in a penalty shootout. And as an Englishman, you got the hand of God, Maradona, always is on our mind. But
Mm-hmm.
the way Kylian Mbappe reacted to Kane's miss, which was atrocious. I'm not even going to get into that because that was a low blow. But
Yeah,
Argentina
no.
fully deserved it. Apart from all the antics in the Netherlands game, they've been
Mm-hmm.
pretty much, Messi, last World Cup ever, greatest
100%.
of all time, solidified now. There's no one better. No one's done as good as him. I don't give a shit about
You
Pele's
can
score.
actually certified him as the goat.
Yeah, he's the greatest of all time. Cristiano
He
Ronaldo
is.
getting the bin, didn't even start for Portugal
Mm-hmm.
in the last couple of games because he was falling out with his coach. But yeah, it was a great World Cup. I think it's one of the most enjoyable I've seen because of the upsets and
Oh
the
yeah, there
games
was a
in
lot,
general.
man.
I think it's
There
the
was a lot of
highest
upsets.
goal scoring World Cup in the last like 30, 40 years as well. 172 goals, I think I read. So
Yeah,
that's crazy.
it is. Especially for the host Qatar, they went out early. For hosts, they went out early, which is
Oh,
yeah,
everyone expected that.
yeah. I think we all expected that.
Yeah.
But now look, and also look, Australia. I don't think they'll get that far. Props to them. They got
Oh,
to
I
well, they
mean,
get to
if
round 16.
yeah,
Round
they
16.
they lost to Argentina to what? No, I think yeah, round 16. But see that the funny thing is, I was watching that game and I was like, after I was like, Australia could have just pulled it off. Like Argentina, they were ripping them, but they weren't being clinical enough. So I was like,
Yeah.
Australia could nick a draw here and then just nick it in penalties. Like Messi could be
Mm-hmm.
going out to Australia, but obviously that didn't happen, and then they went on the way. So again,
Yeah.
congratulations to Argentina, to the goat Messi, to
Mm-hmm.
Romero. Special mention to that. I think he's a fuckwit. That's Salt Bay. I don't know why he was involved. If anybody is a football fan who even remotely loves their national team, I think that's an insult to every player at that World Cup that he got to touch the cup and they didn't after all the grinding they did for years being professional
Mm-hmm.
footballers. People can say, oh, there was plenty of people on the pitch, but there's no need for someone who sprinkles salt over steak to be kissing that World Cup. And the thing is, it's the way he went about it. He was taking the
Yeah.
World Cup off players. Di Maria looked awkward. He had a bit of an awkward encounter with Messi. Martinez and Romero were both taking photos with their kids, and he was taking the World Cup off them and getting his own photo. Like, there's just no need for that. They should never have been on that pitch.
They
It's
shouldn't nobody
deserved.
have been nowhere near it, to be
There's
honest.
players that should have touched that haven't
Before him. Before
before
him.
him.
Exactly. Exactly.
He should never have touched. He's not a footballer. He doesn't know the grind. For me, he could be a great businessman, but when you sprinkle salt on steak, you don't deserve to
Yeah,
be
100%.
touching that. So that's my rant on Salt Bay. I've been
Actually, I got a special mention to Martinez, the goalkeeper from Aston Villa.
oh
Well,
Emmy.
what the hell was he doing with the trophy with the goal?
Oh, the Golden Glove.
Oh,
Oh, mate, he was
oh
having
my god!
fun. He's having fun.
Nah,
He's
look,
never going to
yeah,
get one
he's
of those
got.
again in the World Cup. So he's
As
having
soon as I
fun with
seen
it.
that, man, I laughed. I'm like, oh my god,
He
typical.
was a character because you see that he got the he got a little baby doll and put the face of Mbappe on it on the parade. It's insane. He's
He's
like
funny.
he's an ex-gooner, but I've got to give it to him. He's
He's
a
a he's
shit
a he's a
house,
he's a
major
good
shit
goalkeeper.
housery. So
100%, 100%.
apart from the World Cup, let's get on to our friendlies. We beat Motherwell 4-0. Our next game was against Peterborough under 21s. Can't remember the score for that. Do you remember the score for that?
I think it was 2-0. I think it was 2-0. Pretty sure it was 2-0 that game.
Not too sure. 3-1.
I thought
3-1.
there we go. Yeah, okay.
And then this morning, Australia time, we played, did a 1-1 draw against Nice. And there's one player that seems to be shining, and that's Diego Maradocchi. 4 goals and 3 friendlies, mate. Sign him up for striker.
Oh, 100%. Like, that's that first goal when Cooley laid off. Obviously, their defender clearly missed it, timed it wrong, and then he just off his right foot, top corner. Boom. Yeah, that was pretty good by him. Yeah, look, there was a couple of good players I want to mention. Harvey White, like he actually stepped up into a role that I think he was playing like that false 9 role.
Yeah, he's playing like a centre forward, dropping with the wingers like Kulu and Hill in front of him, and he's a holding midfielder.
That's what I mean. He's a holding midfielder, and it's just like, wow, he actually suits that position as a attacking midfielder, which is, I reckon he'll do well in there if he sticks around with Conte.
I still think he's a better midfielder. I think because he has the same kind of build as Kane. Kane was a midfielder, if no one knows, in the youth academy. That's why he has wicked passing range. It just so happened that he was a great striker of the ball, so they transitioned him into striker because he had the build to be a bit bigger and to win the ball. But like, there's nothing saying like they've obviously seen something in training because they played him 3 times up front, Conte. So there must be something they're seeing.
Exactly, I think Conte must see a little bit of like a Harry Kane, but just like this standard midfielder, which is good to see. Good to see the young boy coming through. And Hill, look, I think Hill pretty much, it's a bit up and down. I think the first game against Motherwell, he went well.
Yeah.
Then once the Peterborough game, I don't know how you win that, but yeah, just the game this morning, I just think he did it right, but it just kind of didn't. It was like his passes are too heavy, and I was like, wow, he just needs to.
I think for me, he does a lot of good and a lot of bad. Now he runs around like a headless chicken and chases the ball,
100%.
Always tries to win it. He does lose the ball a lot. He's a bit like Mora for me, whereas Mora would lose it on the dribble. I feel like Hill thinks he's faster than what he is and loses it on the heavy touch. I mean, look, he's showing little signs. He's getting in and amongst it. He's not scared. I mean, I think he has that attitude in every game he goes into. So I feel like he's only young, but then at the end of the day, you got players like Mbappe at 21. He was tearing up, for France, won the World Cup at 19. Age shouldn't be, for me nowadays, with the way football is, age shouldn't dictate whether a player is, like, even if they're a youngster. Look at Jude Bellingham for England, for Dortmund. He's 19, a couple of years younger than Hill. And, he's going to be the future superstar for me in the midfield. He's the one to watch. And Hill's young, but how long do we persevere with him until we go, you know what? Like, we traded it. He does what Lamella does. And Lamella did a lot more on the pitch for us than Hill has done so far. And I'm like, we paid roughly, I think it equates to about 42 mil because we traded Lamella at like 20-something mil. And Lamella was rated about 20 mil then. So, like, we paid 42 mil for a player that essentially does exactly what Lamella does. He looks good on the eye, he does. But his end product, we haven't seen it yet. And I'm hoping he comes good. But I don't know how long he lasts with him.
I rate him. Like, I think he just needs to put on a bit more physicality. Like, I know he has put on a bit, but I don't think he's put on enough. but then I don't think he wants to put on that extra in case he loses the speed or just loses something, which is totally understandable. But I just think,
that argument's shit though, because look at
yeah,
Modric, David Silva,
yeah, I
even
know.
Bernardo Silva. Like they're all small and light, and they just use their technique and speed and passing vision. If you're Modric, to be legendary at the game, so that physicality thing, I can understand it because of the role he's in, more attacking role. But there's players that are smaller. Look at Phil Foden. Phil Foden's smaller, skinnier,
Yeah, I understand. I
same
understand that. Yeah.
age. Phil Foden's here, he was down here. You know what I mean? I see where
Yeah,
you're coming from though, because I feel like if he does put on a bit of strength, he can win a lot more fouls because he won't look like he's just flopping over because he is so skinny, and he
I
might
was
be a bit
thinking.
stronger at pushing people off the ball.
I think he needs to stay in like England and just play for like a championship team or just something a bit lower than the Premier League, not too like a Valencia or like a Real
No, he
Sociedad.
needs to. If he's going to go to his next loan, it needs to be in England. He needs to
Yeah,
play again, and in the Championship's perfect call because that's where I feel it's a lot more physical than the actual Premier League, and they leave their foot in a bit more. They get knocked around a bit more, but they also get more. They get punished more with technical players because technical players can just skip over the tackle, turn them. They can 1-2 pass the defender. They're not as quick. They're not as fast in the Championship. So you're right. It's a good call. I don't think you should go to a lower Premier League team because I feel like they got better players in those positions.
exactly.
Nottingham Forest have Johnson, Lingard. I can't remember their strikers' names.
I think he's way better than Lingard, to be honest.
Nah, I think Lingard's just
Yeah,
Lingard. He just sits. He scored a fucking bang against us. So what do we do?
Yeah, true.
Moving on from Hill. The only other player I can really say this morning really shone was Sarr. I feel like Sarr looked very flary, which is weird. Look at Sarr, you think he looks like a gangly teenager, but went away with Senegal. Got a few games with Senegal in the World Cup. Come on against England, I'm pretty sure as well in the round of 16. But this morning when he came on next to Basuma, it looked like we controlled it. We did concede just before he came on. It looked like he controlled the midfield with Basuma, had a bit of flair, wasn't scared to get on the ball, wasn't scared to call for the ball.
It was good.
And he did a few runs past defenders and put the ball forward. So there's a couple of youngsters that, Harvey, White, Hill, Sarr, special mention to Mundle, played on the left.
Yeah, Mundle, yeah.
Rapid crossed it to this morning.
That was wicked.
I was like, fucking hell. Like, if that was Kane, that was in. Like, Royal can't cross, and this guy's fucking 17.
100%.
So for all in all, friendlies, two wins and a draw. We weren't playing teams like Arsenal playing, like Juventus, AC Milan, but I feel like they're playing against teams that have weakened teams, and we just played against teams just to keep our backups fit. Try and see if they can produce something. And I think Kulu was the best by far. Again, he just looked like a level above everybody on that pitch.
This kid is gonna go places with us, man. I'm hoping he stays for a long time because.
Can I just put something to you? He's a year older than Hill.
Yeah, I know.
We got him when he was 21. Hill was 21 now. Yeah. Kulu looks. I think Kulu's put on a bit of strength too. He looks leaner, but he looks stronger. Before he looked like he was a bit chubby and a bit slow. Now he looks like he's fucking fit. Like he's fitter than what he was.
I think
he's running a lot more.
I think that's what he said he was going to do when the World Cup started. He said he was going to come. He said he's going to just focus on his training and try to get himself right again, 100%. And my God, has he done that? But I think this kid is a wonder for us. Like he's pretty much our savior. He's our God savior. He's just wicked.
He needs to stay if we want to achieve anything and win a trophy. And that comes on to the next topic that I really want to talk about is apparently 50% of the board don't think Conte's the right manager for us because Poch has been twerking for Levy and that the last 6 months saying he wants to come back and finish what he started. And I'm sorry, but I love Poch. I think anyone who's a Spurs fan who doesn't love Poch is kidding themselves. I feel like Levy let him down in the last year and a half or 2 years. That basically after the Champions League final, Poch disheartened the last year because he asked for players, they didn't give it to him. We didn't buy anyone in a year and a half, and For me, if they're not going to back Conte, and the thing is, I think they're looking at the style of play over success. For me, they want to see pretty football. They want to see us tiki-taka, fucking Bale cutting in on the left and baying it like he used to. Like, they want to see that. They don't think Conte's the man. And I'm like, well, Conte is the man. The guy's won everywhere he goes. Mm-hmm. He's won titles. He's won cups. He's challenged teams. And the thing is, he leaves if he doesn't get what he wants. So I'm quite scared for the club if they decide to fuck him over, basically, because apart from Poch, who isn't, he went to PSG, won a couple of things, isn't really like anyone can win for PSG. I could go to PSG and win with them. Like that league. I know they came second one year when Poch was there, but like anyone, like fucking my nephew could go over there and put on the best players that he sees on FIFA and they could win the league. Like, that's not easy mode, but that's how lucky PSG are with the talent that they have and the money. So I'm scared if Conte goes, because if Conte goes, I don't think I'll see us win anything in my lifetime because of Levy and ENIC. I'm a Levy out, but I can recognize what he's done. But if you can't, Conte's one of the top 5 managers in the world at the moment.
Yeah, look, I agree with you. I think what Levy has done is produced a beautiful stadium, which probably the best going at the moment. The training facilities, he's done well. That's probably one of the best.
It's the best in the country by far.
Exactly. But for football standard, I just don't think he's done enough. And he hasn't done enough. And as you said before, if the board's not going to back Conte, what makes you think they're going to back Poch?
Conte's come out and said that he's only about 3 or 4 players away from challenging. That's his word.
That's exactly.
And that's all we need. A proper centre back, because the thing is, Conte's thinking, like, for me, I look at it and I go, all right, front three's already sorted. Kane, Son, Kulu, Richarlison back up. He'll start to show a little bit. Right? Midfield, he's going to go Bentancur, Højbjerg, Basuma. He might need another midfielder in midfield. That's how we're looking at Amrabat, and we're looking at a few others like Madison. And then the left back, he's got Perisic. So he goes, Perisic can probably do one more year. Okay? Romero in the back. Fucking Romero in the back, right? All he needs is another centre back, a right wing back, a centre mid. I don't even know about goalkeeper because I don't know about Lloris. But all he needs is about 3 or 4 players, starting 11 players, and you move those players like your Dyers, like your Royals or your Dohertys, one of the middle 2 or the back 3 drop down, and then you upgrade your first 11 and you move those players down into the bench. That's what I would like to do. Like, I know it's a bit weird, but like in FIFA, I always buy someone either that's going to be take over someone's position in the future, or someone who is young that's going to takes over a position and then have the second person as backup to that person. So I have strength in depth pretty much. And that's what Conte's like, well, I can do both. You give me 4 or 5 players to replace these starting 11 players that need to be replaced. And those guys move to the bench. Our bench is stronger. Our team's stronger. We can challenge on all fronts. And it's crazy to think that they're not looking at it like that. All they're looking at is, it's not pretty on the eye. We're not getting the results we want. Conte's coming out and saying this and saying that. No, we don't really want him here. And I think they'll lose. Kane will go. Son will go. Kulusevski will go. Bentancur will go. Romero will go because they won't be able to keep him. Bentancur, Højbjerg will look to go somewhere else. And then Lloris will leave, and then we're going to be stuck with fucking Royale, Dyer, Sanchez, Ben Davies, Sessegnon, fucking, all these players, Winks, the Celso, all these players that hasn't done anything for us in 4 to 5 years. And
yeah.
It's just because it doesn't look pretty. And that's how I think that's what's the real issue is. Conte talks too much and says, I want this. This is what I want. This is what I need. And they don't like it because they're like, well, he makes us look bad because he's telling everyone that he needs this. If he doesn't get it, they're going to look at us. And for Poch was happy getting bare minimum. But I don't think Poch will. I think Poch will come back and go, this is what I want to win. I want to win with this club. This is what I need. And they'll go, we can't give it to you. Poch will go, all right, see you later. And then no one else is going to come to the role. No one's going to want to come to the club with the way Levy and Nick run it.
Exactly, and that's what scares me too. Because what are we praising for? Do we want trophies, or is it all about the money? Because apparently we don't have money to spend in January, which I don't believe. Which I don't believe at all.
They made 40 or 50 million just off the Tyson Fury fight. They made 20 mil on the NFL the other night. They've got a bunch of concerts going. They made about 10 mil each concert. They've got apparently Anthony Joshua's doing his next fight in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which could make 40, 50 mil again. They're making shitloads of money. They're just using it as an excuse to pocket the money.
Exactly.
They're just money. It's just like pretty much putting bare minimum in to get as much as they can out. Yeah, they built a beautiful stadium, but they built it for other reasons. They didn't build it for the football. They built it.
Apparently, they want to try to host a Champions League final there.
Yeah, they've already put it for 2026. But apparently, we just spent 20 mil investing in a four-wheel drive company so we can use their sponsor in the stadium, four-wheel drive.
This is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's more just a business. It's just a business. It's got nothing to do with football, which I think it's completely wrong. We need to invest in this team. This team is what makes the fans, and players not what makes the fans, but the fans make the players, and makes everything. Like, we're all screaming for it. We all need it. We can see it, but this board needs to dig deep into their pockets and pull something out, because if they don't, Conte is going to walk. And if they bring Poch in, Poch is going to ask the same question, and then Poch will probably walk. And then where do we go from there?
Look, I'd love Poch to come back, but I want him to come back off us winning. I don't want him to have the pressure of, you haven't won in 20 years. You have it's only been 14 years so far, but let's say he comes back next year and then spends 5-6 years with us and we don't win anything. Like, oh, you've been here for 10 years as a manager in total. Tottenham haven't won anything in 20 years. Like, what was the point? You wasted your career. Levy's going to get shown out. And for me, it's a bit like Arsenal when they transitioned to the new stadium. They got told that they're going to compete with Bayern Munich. They're going to have the money, the revenue. They did nothing. They declined for 10, 11 years. Now they've started investing in the team, the top of the table. I know they've lost Jesus. I know, but they are looking at, and the thing is, there's so many solid deals out there that they're looking at that we should be looking for. Not saying those type of players, but the deals they're getting early, that like January 1st, they're going to get 1 or 2 players. And to me, that shows intent from the owners to keep the club and to actually transition from, we're just making it a cash cow, to let's make it successful. Because the thing is, the more successful a club is, especially nowadays with social media and exposure, the more you win, the more fans you're going to get, the more money you're going to make.
Exactly.
Like, look at Man United. They still make the most, if not the most money in the world, top 3 from Barcelona and Real Madrid of revenue in the world, worldwide, right? Mm-hmm. They haven't won anything significant in 13 years. They haven't won the league since Fergie left. They haven't won a Champions League since Fergie. They've won the Europa League and they've won a couple of cups, I'm pretty sure, since Fergie's left. But that 13-year or 15-year period that Fergie was there, and they're winning everything, trebles and doubles and Champions Leagues. That's where they accumulated all the fans at the start of the social media era. And now they've kept those fans going along because, you come to Australia, half the fucking population of Australia are either United, City, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool. Mm-hmm. When I see a Tottenham fan in the streets, I fucking salute him because at the end, we're token. There's hardly any of us here.
Exactly.
So, we went to the Everton game not too long ago, us boys, to watch it because we wanted to watch a Prem game. They played against Sydney FC, and we saw one guy wearing a Tottenham shirt while we're on the way out in the car park, and we're fucking yelling at Yido because it was a fucking token because we were the only other 4 that were wearing Tottenham shirts.
Exactly.
I feel like if they want revenue, they need to build it on the back of success, not on the back of fancy shit. Because now with the most expensive season ticket holder, we don't even win fucking trophies. That's in Europe, by the way. You can go watch Bayern for €300 a season and watch him win the league, win the cup, maybe Champions League. Come to us, you have to pay triple, if not quadruple, to watch us fucking lose 1-0 to bloody Mura like last year.
Yeah, look, I just think, and saying all that, man, I just think they need to really tie down Conte into a contract, or give him what he wants.
Just give him what he wants and the players he wants. And if he doesn't succeed, all right, see you later.
If he doesn't succeed, yeah, exactly. See you later. You didn't do what you said you were going to do. See you later. But I'm very worried by the end of the January transfer window. If we haven't signed them, I am very scared what's going to happen because I think the whole Tottenham fan base, the whole Tottenham world, they're going to go after Levy and Enoch.
Well, they need to. It's already trending on Twitter. Enoch out since the news broke that Conte, they're not close to signing a deal, and it's because the board aren't sure if they want him as a manager. And you've got
why bring him in then? Why bring him in?
They knew what he was like. They knew the kind of pressure he puts on the board. He knew the kind of style he plays. They did it to try and keep the fans quiet after Nuno because they knew Nuno was fucking. Nuno was a shit manager. They did it on purpose to try and keep the fans happy by bringing Conte in, but I don't think they were ready for a manager like Mourinho. And Conte is like, fuck it. You don't like he's done it before. Done it at Chelsea, done it at Milan. If you don't give me what I want, or if you take away what I need to win, I'm fucking going. I don't care about the money. For me, it's about winning. And the thing is, they've got to realize that the definition of elite sport and the goal of elite sport is to be the best. Exactly. And Argentina proved it. England, look at England and Southgate. Like the wrong manager. If they had the right manager, England could have gone to win. Now they don't have a better team as France. I think they have adjusted. Like France in depth is insane. They were missing like 7 or 8 players. No Benzema. Hernandez got injured early. No Magnan. They were missing Conte. Like they were missing a shitload of players. But England still had a team good enough in this World Cup to win it. They could have beat France. I know Harry Kane penalty, but they could have beat France in normal play if Southgate went for it and had a better manager. And that's the thing we have. I'm not saying we have a team to challenge the league, but we have a team that can solidify top 4 again, and we can build on it. And if we build on it, we can challenge. There's only so much the City can buy before all the talents, and they've got too many players. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then they have to start getting rid of. But yeah, you're right. I think we just need to just tie him down first. Just tie him down, and then give him what he wants. Give him the money. You have the fucking money. Don't deny that you don't have the money. You have the money. Give it to him. Let him go get the players he wants. Let's try knock it down top 4 and try to get proceed in Champions League if we can, or even the FA Cup. If we, get a bit further on that, that's good. But the question is now we have to tie down Conte. If we lose Conte, you can say the goal.
If we lose Conte, there was no point. There was no point in hiring him. Like, there's no point a year and a bit later going, we don't like the way he does things. Let's just get rid of him.
Exactly. And then you can say goodbye to Kane, Son, Romero, Kulusevski, probably Perisic,
Bentancur,
Højbjerg, all of them gone.
And that's the thing. It's the board aren't thinking of that. They're just thinking of what suits them, and we're thinking about the fans. And the thing is, the fans have suffered for so long. You know how hard it is. Like it's not as hard being in England and being a Tottenham fan or in London, especially with Arsenal being top of the league right now. But you know how hard it is, like being here. There's not many Tottenham fans around. You can't band together, and it's just pure banter every fucking time. And I've got people who support Everton, who support fucking Brentford, laughing at us because of the way our club runs, and it's disgraceful. The fans don't deserve this. We're one of, we're the first English team to win a Europa Cup and do the double. Like that's history. We should be honoring that by pushing the owners to do something, and it's gone on long enough. This Levy out shit, it's not about you don't want Levy in because he doesn't spend it the way you want it. No, it's the fact that we've put the pitch side of things to the back burner for so long now. It's becoming a joke, and we're a joke of the football world. We're not part of the top 6. It's top 5. Arsenal have put themselves back up there. If they keep this momentum going, they back up there. Newcastle are going to overtake us.
100%.
There's and the thing is, in the next couple of years, there's buyers that are going to look like I heard fucking Michael B. Jordan has put in a bit of stock into Bournemouth. Someone from America's bought Bournemouth, and like he got, Wrexham with Ryan Reynolds, and I can't say his last name, but that Rob got like the other actor. Like, I'm not saying these guys have got the money to boost these teams like Wrexham up to the Premier League, but these guys aren't scared to invest in top clubs anymore because they know it's a moneymaker, especially these lower clubs like Newcastle are going to make the Saudi Arabians so much fucking money because of the following they have and the history. And they're not even splashing cash. Or they are, but they're doing it in the right way. They've built a solid team.
And that's what scares me too. Newcastle are going to come up. They're going to overtake us. And then, like Bournemouth, I know they're a low team, but, they could come out and shine and then
you never know. They could drop shitloads of money into Bournemouth and Bournemouth could be the next powerhouse. You never know. It depends on, you don't know who has money these days. Everyone has money by the sounds of it. So, on that note, bro, I think we've been going half an hour, so we might wrap it up there. Thanks to everyone that was for joining us. If you're watching, make sure you smash a like and subscribe to the channel. Hit up in the comments if there's anything you want to say. Shout out to Delane for jumping back on once again.
Back again. We're back again.
We hope you all have a happy Christmas. If you don't celebrate Christmas, everyone. Enjoy your break from work. I know not everybody celebrates Christmas, so enjoy your New Year's. We will be back for Boxing Day game against Brentford. A few of us go away on Boxing Day, but I will be, and I'm saying it to you, Delane, I will be doing the watch along for the Brentford game before we go and the Aston Villa game. I'll be doing it while we're away. You might see some possums and kangaroos in the background because we're going camping, but it's all right.
I'll definitely be on there
for sure. And then I'll be back in Sydney for the I think it's the Crystal Palace game. It's during the week that week. The rest of the boys are staying down, but I'm coming back a bit early. But we'll catch you next time at Brentford. Delane, again, shout out to Delane jumping on. And thank you to all for watching. Stay safe. Enjoy your holidays. Merry Christmas. And as we always say here at Total Spurs, stay Spursy.
Stay Spursy, guys.